Welcome, everyone, to What to Watch Live, the show where we discuss the best in TV and entertainment this week. My name is David, and today I am joined by my fellow Xfinity editors, Quam and Nicole. Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
One day before Halloween, 2 days before November. Wow, where does the time go?
It's a flying.
It is a flying, and happy early Halloween. Happy Halloween Eve to everyone out there. Thank you for watching us on Xfinity platforms, and thank you for watching us on the What to Watch channel on Xumo Play, if that is indeed where you're tuning in. Let's get to it. On today's show, we will each reveal the TV show or movie premiere we're most excited about this week. I'll tell you how to celebrate tomorrow's Halloween holiday with free horror movies. We'll be joined by the star of the new special, John Leguizamo, live at Rikers, the one and only John Leguizamo. And we'll kick off National Veterans and Military Families Month with some of our favorite military films and documentaries. So let's get things started with this week's can't-miss premieres in the latest edition of Appointment TV. Each week, the Xfinity editors pick the TV show, movie, or special event they are most excited about right now. This week, we kick things off with our very own Xfinity music editor, Quam. Quam, which premiere are you looking forward to?
Thank you, David. And I am so excited for the return of Invincible. If you haven't seen this show, you're sleeping. Let's take a look at the trailer.
For some of you, it probably seemed like this day would never come. Maybe you're even wondering if you're ready for this. For what comes next.
You have no idea what I'm capable of.
I didn't know who he was.
I don't fight friends because I would win.
Never apologize for saving lives.
There's only one way this kid goes back out there, and that's on a very short leash.
I'm just happy helping people.
You know people try to kill us every single day, right?
Viltrumite against Viltrumite. That has not happened since the Great Purge. You should have died at birth.
Yes, Invincible is an animated superhero series based on the comic book of the same name. The show follows Mark Grayson, voiced by Steven Yeun, who is the son of the world's most powerful superhero, Omni-Man, voiced by J.K. Simmons. As Mark starts to develop his superpower abilities of his own, he becomes the titular character, Invincible. But he finds out that his dad is hiding some deep, dark secrets about their superpowered origins, which all come to the light at the end of the season 1 finale. And season 2 picks up right there. And I personally love a good deconstruction of the superhero genre. This show just feels very refreshing when compared to other superhero properties, Marvel. And it's just an easy watch. It's an easy show to turn on, turn your brain off, and just have a good time with. So I'm super excited for this show. Nicole, I know you're also an Invincible watcher. How excited are you?
I'm so excited. Like you said, I was left on a cliffhanger, so I'm ready to get back into it. And was that Carl Winslow as a cop again? The dad from Family Matters? Oh, sorry. They're just like typecasting him, and I think it's hilarious. Anyway, I love the series. I like this idea of gritty, not so nice superheroes, kind of like The Boys. It's real. It feels real. And, you hate to sympathize with the villain, but J.K. Simmons is so compelling in it. I love it.
You sympathize with Omni-Man? I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's awful.
Not him, but it's just like sympathizing with the villain has become a norm now. Like, oh, okay, I can see it. People suck sometimes, but that's all I'm gonna say.
David, do you watch? Have you watched Invincible?
I don't, but I know I would like this because I love The Boys.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, Nicole. Carl Winslow, Reginald Vell Johnson does do a voice in this, but I don't think he's a cop. He's credited as principal. So I don't know if that was. I don't know if that was the whatever, but yeah, Yeah, Carl Winslow is a voice in this, which
Yeah,
is
he's
pretty
an
amazing.
authority figure in this. Got it.
Yes. um, I know I would love this. I just haven't gotten around to it, honestly. But The Boys and Gen V, I'm just obsessed with. So, and I don't know what it is about Prime Video that they've just figured out how to do, like a Marvel alternative superhero situation, like so well. But I'm really enjoying the kind of things that they're producing in that realm.
Yeah, I mean, Invincible is right up there with The Boys. I mean, it's not as I guess politically charged to a degree, or it doesn't have much of anything else outside to say other than what the that good is good and bad is bad. But it still is a really great time, and it kind of deviates from your typical superhero story. So, in that regard, it's like a perfect companion piece to The Boys, because The Boys is a little bit heavier. It has a lot more themes and what things it's trying to say. Versus Invincible is kind of like, okay, this is a pretty standard story of good versus evil, but it just takes you through a few loops, and who doesn't love a good Superman parody?
All right, I'm gonna have to dive into this eventually. I know, because everyone keeps telling me about it. All right, thank you, Quam. Great pick. The premiere I'm most looking forward to this week is the new sci-fi romance film. This is a real big departure from Invincible. It's the new sci-fi romance film Fingernails, which drops this Friday, November 3rd on Apple TV+. Let's take a quick look at the trailer.
You guys taking the test?
Yeah, 3 years ago, we were positive. Felt like a weight had been lifted.
I founded this institute to take the risk out of love. No more uncertainty, no more wondering if you've chosen the right partner, no more divorce. We were the first to build the machines to conduct the test, to make the bond of love stronger.
I really want to work here. A lot of famous people study there.
Really? Like who?
Ginger Spice.
She's my favorite.
I know.
I think it's normal to get into a bit of a routine.
I think relationships should be worked on every day. Oh, sorry. I was wondering if it was possible that one person could be in love with two people at the same time.
It's a biological impossibility.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
In case you didn't pick up on all the details of the trailer, Fingernails is set in an alternate reality where a groundbreaking new technology definitively determines if two people are in love by ripping out and testing their fingernails. The film follows a young woman named Anna, played by incredible Oscar-nominated actress Jessie Buckley, and her scientifically approved partner Ryan, played by the Bear star Jeremy Allen White, as they settle into their happy but possibly too comfortable relationship. And when Anna begins working at the Love Institute, which does this test, she finds herself falling for another man, played by Oscar-winning actor Riz Ahmed. I've said it on What to Watch Live before, but I absolutely love fresh, original sci-fi stories, and I love sci-fi even more when it doesn't entirely feel like sci-fi elements in a grounded human story. But what really excites me about this movie is the cast. That's Jessie Buckley from Women Talking and the Fargo TV series, Jeremy Allen White from The Bear, as I mentioned, Riz Ahmed from Sound of Metal and the HBO series The Night Of, Annie Murphy from Schitt's Creek, and as you saw in the trailer, Luke Wilson. The thing is absolutely stacked with some of the most talented actors working today, and I'm really excited to check it out. Nicole, you saw this at TIFF.
I did. Yeah.
Am I right in looking forward to this?
Yes. Maddie, our fellow editor, also watched it with me. We both loved it. Obviously, we were drawn to the cast. They're all great and talented people. But like you said, the premise is so unique. It's so different. The romance is really creative in this. So it's like an everyday life with a touch of sci-fi and romance. But the fingernail thing is a little jarring. I will say that if you have a weak stomach, you're probably not going to like it because, as you can imagine, it's a very painful, intense experience, and they show you quite a few times. But overall, it's such a great film. It was one of my favorites from TIFF, so I hope everyone gets a chance to see it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to take that test too many times.
I was just about to say, imagine if you keep going in and it keeps failing, and you're like, oh God, I only have 10 of these things.
I mean, obviously you have to wait till it grows back, but it's such a norm in the society. You know, if you have a bandage on your finger, you're like, oh, how was your test? So it's just like a universal truth. Like, did you pass? Did you not? I won't get into the nitty gritty, but it's really interesting the way they develop it.
I'm really excited. I love Jesse Buckley and Riz and Jeremy Allen White. I mean, these really are like three of the hottest stars going right now, all in one place. Apple TV Plus they're not missing recently. They really are producing some great stuff. So that's Fingernails. Nicole, what are you looking forward to this week?
All right, a little different, but also romance. I'm going with My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. So the Portocalos family is back, and now they're actually in Greece. Now available to own, but will also be available on Peacock this Friday. So let's take a look at the clip.
A lot has happened since my big fat Greek wedding.
Like I never left.
My father passed away, and his last wish was for us to visit his childhood village and reconnect with our roots. So we're having a reunion. We're going to Greece.
Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And by we, I mean the whole family.
Who wants souvlaki?
Paging souvlaki. Anybody by the name of souvlaki on this flight?
Aristotle, what?
I didn't know you were going to be here.
What are you doing here? They had an amazing date. She ghosted him.
You are the Portocalos family. We are related through your papa's papa, who was married to my great Yaya's sister-in-law.
So, as you can see, most of the regulars are back for this one, so it's very exciting. Unfortunately, Michael Constantine, aka Gus, passed away in 2021, so the plot will revolve around honoring their father's legacy, which is why they're in Greece. It's got some Mamma Mia vibes going on, as like Tula tries to track down 3 older men, which are Gus's like childhood friends, just for a village reunion and to obviously pay tribute to him. She runs into some issues, of course, but overall it's a light and fun watch. Definitely has that wholesome family tone, like in the first 2 films. Perfect way to cap it as like a trilogy now. So I definitely recommend for anyone who's a fan of the other films. Kwam, I know how you feel about it. David, have you seen the others?
I have.
It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first
you know
one
what?
I loved.
So I have not seen 2, and I won't see 3, and I won't see 3. But I saw one. It's funny. It's one of those movies where so growing up, my high school best friend was Greek, and I spent a lot of time with he and his Greek family, and they were so excited when this movie was coming out. I went and saw it. It was only an independent movie theater, so it wasn't a wide release when it first came out. We went to some little small independent theater, Point of View Cinema in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, to watch this, like 2 or like 5 people in this little theater. I loved it, thought it was funny. But I watched the second time and I felt like the gags were not funny the second time around. There's only so much of the Windex that's funny. It's like a novelty the first time. Ha ha ha. He is so silly. Second time, it's like, okay, like I get it. And I feel like I'm not going to appreciate the gags for a full second and third movie. My personal opinion,
That's fair. Kwam, did I entice you at all to start this franchise?
Oh man, nice. Just one word. You intrigued me.
Okay.
To at least start the first to see if I can get to the second, and if I can get through those first 2, then the third will await me. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, David's quick, critique didn't do you justice.
Yeah, it didn't do it justice.
You weren't enticed by that biting souvlaki joke on the plane? What a riot.
I didn't even get the joke because I was just like, what does that even mean?
Well, there's a lot of that, so be prepared if you do watch it.
But look at Joey Fatone up there on the poster.
Yeah, I mean, he's hot right now, so gotta watch it for him. He's not in it that much, I will say. He's got a very small part. Him and his sister, Nikki, back there.
Yeah, this is like when the whole Meet the Parents, Little Fockers franchise lasted a little too long.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to. I'm not. You know, I went in and I was like, I'm not going to say anything negative about Nicole's pick, but you know, it's obviously popular.
It's fine. We don't have to agree on everything. Okay.
Each his own.
Yeah.
We don't. My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, available to own now, and you said Peacock this Friday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Go check it out for all the souvlaki jokes. And you can check out all the TV shows we just discussed and so much more by saying what to watch into your Xfinity voice remote. Next up, it's All Hallows Eve Eve, and we've got nothing but treats in the latest edition of Free This Week. Xfinity's Free This Week program continues with free TV shows, movies, and specials from Zumo Play, Tubi, Freevee, and Fossum, including some horror movies just in time for Halloween. And here to tell us more about all the entertainment you can enjoy through November 5th is our very own Xfinity TV editor, David, and that's me, so let's get to it. Okay, so since it's just you and me here, I can let you in on a little secret. Even though you see those dates right up there, October 30th through November 5th, right up there, you can watch free TV shows and movies from Zumo Play, Freevee, Tubi, and Fossum on Xfinity platforms at any time. Like, literally any time. Go ahead. Turn your TV on at 12:01 a.m. on November 6th. Say Zumo Play into your Xfinity voice remote. Boom. Free stuff. Literally thousands of free movies and TV shows. Like, literally any time. There's like more than 70,000 free movies on these 4 services combined. But since that's a lot of movies to comb through, and we're specifically showcasing these networks this week, and it's the day before Halloween, I dug through 70,000 movies myself. It took some time, and I picked out 6 flicks to help you set the mood for your trick-or-treating. First, The Forever Purge, which is the 5th installment of the Purge franchise about an alternate reality where the United States makes all crime legal for one night a year. Second, Perfect Stranger. No, it's not Balky and Larry. It's Halle Berry as a reporter who tries to take down a wealthy advertising executive played by Bruce Willis. Next, The Babadook is one of the scariest horror films of the last 10 years, following a widowed single mother... I said whittled 3 times. Following a widowed single mother whose son sees a monster who is dressed like Mr. Peanut. Fourth, Into the Grizzly Maze stars James Marsden, Thomas Jane, Billy Bob Thornton, and Piper Perabo as people stalked by a cocaine-less grizzly bear. Fifth, it's the 2018 remake of Dario Argento's Suspiria, starring Tilda Swinton, Mia Goth, Chloe Grace Moretz, and Dakota That's Not the Truth Ellen Johnson. And finally, The Nun, which is a spin-off of the Conjuring series and follows a demon nun who has a bad habit of killing people. Just say any of those titles into your Xfinity voice remote right now and watch them for free. I'm really disappointed I stumbled over Dakota That's Not the Truth Ellen Johnson.
I'm really surprised you stumbled over widowed 3 times.
Whittled?
Like, you literally stopped yourself, paused, and then continued to say whittled.
Baked in a buttery, flaky crisp. I literally did. I was like, okay, focus. Widowed. Whittled. I still said it. Whatever.
Truth of thoughts.
It's true. All those movies, I'm just losing my mind. All those movies are great. Check them out. Halloween's tomorrow. 6 great movies. Can't go wrong. Xfinity's Free This Week program offers a new selection of free content from streaming services and premium networks every week of the year with no strings attached. Just say free or free this week into your remote to check it out. Next up, you may know him as John, but he'll always be Luigi to me. It's time for Hangouts. Last month, Emmy Award-winning actor, comedian, and producer John Leguizamo debuted his documentary special John Leguizamo Live at Rikers on Xfinity platforms as part of our Black Experience collection, And our very own multicultural editor, Liz, sat down with John for a brand new episode of Xfinity Hangouts. Kwam, you've had a chance to watch Liz's interview. What can you tell us about it?
Well, thank you, David. Yeah, John, he performs his play Ghetto Clown at Rikers prison, trying to inspire justice-involved young men to reflect openly about their own lives and, their challenges that they face with their incarceration. And as you mentioned, Liz had the opportunity to sit down with them in a really meaningful conversation. And I saw this one clip, and I just had to show it for y'all. So let's play it.
What we saw, which was filmed, was phenomenal. And I think obviously you're a funny guy, and it was so awesome to watch them like laugh and sort of like let their guard down a bit. But to me, I think what was so special was the sentiment behind it, the way that you were able to impact them, and that relatability, right? When you started talking about like your mom and your dad and the stories that you bring up, and you mentioned it already, that this was an important project to you. How important is it that you as a Latino too, right, that you're representing not only your work, but it feels like sometimes we're representing the whole culture, right? How important does that feel to you when you're on stage?
I mean, there's so much, like you said, to unpack here. I mean, we're so invisible in America still, even though we're the largest ethnic group, the oldest ethnic group, and we're 30% of the box office, but less than 2% of the leads on camera, less than 0.009 of the executives making the decisions. So you got that going. And then on top of that, we're the second most brutalized and killed by the police, the second largest ethnic group in prisons, the first largest ethnic group in the worst public schools in America. And our women, Latino women, are the lowest paid American in America. So there's a lot of rough statistics. So I thought that was very important to go inside the prison system and help these kids out somehow, give them some kind of hope, give them some kind of confidence that things will work out. And this GOZO program, Get Out, Stay Out, I've been a part of it for 10 years. Mark Goldsmith has been the pioneer who runs this place for 30 years. And there's no government funding. It's all raised by charity events. And the success rate is incredible. 99% of the inmates don't ever return back to the system. So it's a powerful thing. And we help the youngest inmates. Yeah. And then, finding out that, it's a huge part of the population is Latino. The ones that are Spanish speaking are lost in the system. They years and years to get seen, to get their cases heard. So that all just breaks your heart. I ate some of that food. It was gray. I mean, it was ham, cabbage, and potatoes it was all gray, in gray water, flavorless, overcooked to the max.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I had a share in their pain.
And so, as you can see there, John, he's just super passionate about his work and why he felt like he needed to go into, Rikers Island and put on the play for those kids. And what I really loved most about this was the he shows that he cares about these disenfranchised communities, specifically the Latino community, especially coming off the heels of Hispanic Heritage Month. We often look at people who are in prison as evil villains, when a lot of the times they're just a lot of times kids who lost their way or just fell victim to systemic obstacles. And this conversation really helped humanize a lot of these kids who find themselves in these awful situations.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting, as you mentioned, like, in addition to showing John performing his one-man Broadway show, the actual Live at Rikers special shows him having these conversations with members of this GOSO, Get Out, Stay Out, or program that he mentioned. And that's a Harlem-based program aimed at preventing reoffenses by helping young men further their education, secure employment, among other things. And the program has a really incredible success rate in terms of percentages of men who reoffend. It's and I don't want to misquote it, but the percentage of people who don't reoffend is much higher than average. The inmates who go through this program. So John sits down and talks with them about their life, what it's like inside prison, how they got there. It's just a fascinating special. And also I'll just say that I've had the fortune to interview John once really early in my career, and he's just the kindest man, so giving, so funny, just a very, very genuine person. And for someone who's been in this business as long as he has been, to still give back like he does and still be down to earth and so accessible and generous with his time, says a lot about him. So that's my two cents on the matter.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, kudos to him for using his power and fame for good. Definitely something I'm interested in. And, you know, I grew up with him as Luigi too, and wasn't he like and he's often in comedies. I was thinking of Spawn, he's that clown. But he's such a great actor that why wouldn't you want to, you know, pay more attention to these things? So kudos to him.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit with Liz, and it reminded me of and I couldn't remember it when I talked to her then too, about a comedian who had done a roast in a prison, and how how wild that was. I shouldn't even brought this up because now I can't even remember the name of the comedian or the special. But anyway, I think it's really fascinating. Check it out. You can see Liz's full interview with John Leguizamo right now by saying Hangouts into your Xfinity voice remote, or watch both the interview and the Live at Rikers special simply by saying John Leguizamo into your voice remote. You'll be able to find both things there. Next up, we commemorate National Veterans and Military Families Month in a segment called What to Watch This Week. November is National Veterans and Military Families Month, which began in 1996 and has since honored the families, caregivers, and survivors of United States military veterans and current service members. Of course, there is no shortage of powerful films and documentaries chronicling military stories both at home and abroad, and the Xfinity movie editors have curated many of those films into a single collection you can explore all year long. Nicole, tell us more about this collection.
All right, so thanks for the tee up, David. Now, before I start, I do have to do a quick plug and wish my father a happy early Marine Corps birthday. That's coming up on November 10th. He's a very proud Marine, so I'm sure he'll be all over this destination. So anyway, if you're interested in war and military films, Xfinity has got you covered. So just say military movies into your voice remote to access thousands of movies and documentaries on the platform. Sort through all kinds of military genres like action, drama, romance, or even some comedic relief if you need it. And if you favor a particular war, a lot of people are tend to drawn to World War II films. We do have collections for that as well. So hopefully you'll find what you're looking for here. Now, we all decided to pick our favorite military films, so I'll start us off. I did go with the comedic relief film, Jojo Rabbit. This Oscar-winning movie was directed by Taika Waititi, America's sweetheart. It also stars Scarlett Johansson, Sam Rockwell, Stephen Merchant, and Taika playing Hitler himself. I also need to mention the two main kids in this movie, Roman Griffin Davis and Archie Yates. Even Thomasin McKenzie, she's great too. She's the young girl in the back. Let's just say I wanted to adopt these children after seeing this film, just the characters, not the actual children. Both are so talented at such a young age. They certainly make the film. Now, it is a comedy through and through, but that's for sure. But just remember, it's still a war film, so it still kind of leads to some horrible truths during that time. So I always feel like I have to prepare people. But I think Taika really struck a good balance with this, so moviegoers wouldn't leave like on a bad note, but also learn a few things too. So that's my pick. David, what's your pick?
Oh, straight to my pick. First, can I say about Jojo Rabbit? It is a very good film. I love that you called Taika Waititi America's sweetheart. Isn't he from New Zealand?
He's my sweetheart.
Oh, fair. Yeah, this is a great movie. It is very funny, but also like, how is it also so heartbreaking at the same time?
Very sad.
But yes, great pick. And we will move on to mine. Unless, Quam, you have something to say about Jojo Rabbit?
No, I think you hit all the chords. I mean, it's a great movie. Has some good laughs, but also when it needs to hit those serious notes, you feel it. And, it's a reminder that war can be just devastating.
Yeah. And to that point, the most profound and compelling documentary created on any subject, in my opinion, is filmmaker Ken Burns' 7-part docuseries, The War, which chronicles the events of World War II through the personal stories of men and women in 4 American towns: Waterbury, Connecticut, Mobile, Alabama, Sacramento, California, and Laverne, Minnesota. The documentary took 6 years to make and features narration by actor Keith David, as well as vocal contributions from actors Adam Arkin, Tom Hanks, Samuel L. Jackson, Josh Lucas, Bobby Cannavale, and Eli Wallach. The docuseries originally ran on PBS in September 2007 and is a stunning 14 hours long in total. But this masterpiece of storytelling is absolutely worth every minute you invest in it. I recently started rewatching the series, all 14 hours, after visiting the National World War II Museum in New Orleans, which is also incredible if you ever get the opportunity to visit. And it is heartbreaking and triumphant and terrifying and still very much a cautionary tale relevant for modern times. If you are someone who watched and enjoyed the Christopher Nolan film Oppenheimer over the summer, I think you would find this docuseries to be a poignant companion piece that is only 11 hours longer than Oppenheimer. It's currently only available to own, but again, it's well worth adding to your digital library. Back in 2007, I bought the whole DVD box set because it was like, I have to have this forever so I can go back and watch it. And here I am all these years later rewatching it. So can't say enough good things about this. Have either of you ever seen this?
I have not.
It is a time investment. It aired over like 2 weeks on PBS back in 2007. It was a major TV event.
Yeah, I do love these things, and I love the history portion of it. It just, I'm like such a baby. I don't want to be left depressed. I don't want to be left sad. That's why I always go for comedy. But I'm sure it's well worth watch.
Yeah, I mean, if you obviously, it's as depressing as any documentary is on, like, absolutely grim subject matter, but it is really fascinating, and I learned so much that I didn't even know about World War II. I mean, we learn about this stuff in high school, but certainly not to a degree that I could even learn about it in 14 hours of this footage and stories from people who actually experienced it. So really, really fascinating. Quam, what is the war movie that really sticks out to you?
Thanks, David. The war movie that really just always just has a place in my heart is Saving Private Ryan, which I'm sure many of you out there have seen, but if you haven't, it's set during the World War II war. It follows a group of soldiers led by Captain John Miller, played by the brilliant Tom Hanks, and their mission is to locate and bring home Private Ryan, James Francis Ryan to be exact, played by Matt Damon, whose brothers were killed in action. And for me, what really sets this movie apart compared to other military films, especially contemporary films, is the level of respect that Steven Spielberg has for the horrors of war. Many war films feel like promotional pieces in a way for either the U.S. military or just blind patriotism, or it sensationalizes war, leaving out that humanistic factor that this is not a good thing, that no one really wins at the end of the day. And Saving Private Ryan really feels like it shows the true ugly nature of war. And a few scenes that really stand out to me that kind of emphasize this point is the first is when, and I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, when the soldiers are going through the dog tags and they're like just kind of like making it a game, and you have the other soldiers walking by and they're just like so disgusted because those are their comrades. They're just so removed from the situation. It really that sticks out to me because it feels like that's sometimes how we treat war. We treat casualties where it's just another name, another number on a statistic, and you forget that's an actual person who had friends, who had family members. Tom Hanks's character, he reprimands them and says like you as an audience member, you really feel like, okay, you understand that everyone who's in this movie, while they're just playing a role, these are situations that people were actually going through, and it just reemphasizes that point that like war is wrong, which I think we all can agree with. And another scene that really stands out to me is the scene where they come across the German soldiers and they have the little firefight, and then they take one as captive, and the vast majority of the group was ready to kill him in the moment, or I should say unalive him. I don't know if we can say kill here. They were ready to put him to work and give him all the punishment that they thought he deserved. While one soldier, I'm blanking on his name, sat down with him, got to know him a little bit, treated him like a human being, mostly because he spoke the language that the other soldier spoke, the German soldier spoke, which allowed that level of humanistic approach. And what really makes this moment special for me is a reminder that while we do have opposing forces, oftentimes these are just people who are being sent to do the dirty work of other people, and that we're all just humans at the end of the day. Now that decision really comes back to bite that guy, unfortunately, but I think that is still just a poetic full circle moment of war, and just how grim it could be. Your decisions always have consequences, even when you think you're doing the right thing. And so Saving Private Ryan is a really great movie, besides just being a war movie or a military movie. Honestly, it's one of the few military movies to me that actually are anti-war, which sounds crazy because you think most movies are anti-war, but a lot of movies sensationalize everything, and this just doesn't. It makes you not want to sign up to be in the military at all.
Yeah.
Thoughts, Nicole? I'll toss it to you first.
Yeah, no, well said. I mean, it's more than a war film. It's like human interest film. How we interact, how we deal with grief, and you're right. That part with the dog tags was a big part of it, because they're trying to distance themselves, because if you feel too much, then you can't do what you got to do. You can't be a soldier. So it was really interesting how they handled it. They were all so great, and like you said, it really teaches you a lot about humans and how you try to be personable to people, but it doesn't always work out. So it's definitely one of the best, I'd say, out there.
Yeah, I think maybe the greatest war movie ever made. And I think Tom Hanks is definitely someone, as we've seen in other projects that he's done, and I think as far as I can remember in his personal life, has done a lot of work with veterans groups and that sort of stuff to raise awareness and money. And I think he and Steven Spielberg both have a lot of respect for that subject matter, and this is just the result of that. I can't think of a better, at least contemporary, war movie.
Yeah.
But there are many. There are many good ones out there. And Nicole, what is the voice command to get to that?
Military movies.
Military
See everything. Yeah.
You can also find the movies we just talked about, as well as many other TV shows and everything else we've mentioned today, just by saying what to watch into your voice remote. And that will do it for today's show. Thank you to my fellow Xfinity editors, Nicole and Kwam, for joining me this week. Special thank you to our special guest, John Leguizamo. Check out his new special, John Leguizamo Live at Rikers, on Xfinity platforms right now. Shout out to our producers, Caitlin, Josh, and everyone else behind the scenes for making everything run smoothly. If you want to check out the TV shows, movies, or music, whatever, everything we just talked about today, get more of our entertainment recommendations, or watch us interview big stars, just say what to watch into your voice remote. You can also tune in here every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern for a new episode, or watch us on the What to Watch channel on Xumo Play. Until next time, my name is David. Thank you for joining us on What to Watch Live.
See ya.